To me, it's companionship is important. I mean, like for example, you are not just my wife. Before you are my wife, you are my best friend. So we talk about everything or almost everything as far as I know.
You have my back. You don't speak outside of our marriage, the things that we may struggle with. Tell me now what I've done wrong, because if you don't tell me now what I've done
Well,
wrong, I'm
exactly.
going to do the same tomorrow. So if you don't tell me what I've done wrong, I can't fix it.
Because sometimes I have no clue what I've done wrong.
Because the things we say when we're angry can never be reversed, because they're said in anger, often not true things, but they're said in anger, and they can really do a lot of damage to the person who hears them.
As that marriage for me was a cure for selfishness. I was a very selfish person when I was, well, before I was married. I sit down with my beautiful lady, my wife, Wendy, and today we're trying to play a game. I hope it works. We want to talk about a few reasons why marriage is important to us. So each one of us chose a few reasons, 5 reasons why marriage is important to her, to me, to my wife. And we are trying to, so it's the element of surprise as well. So I am looking forward to hear what is important to Wendy in our marriage, and I hope she's looking forward to hear what is important to me in our marriage. So, darling, I'm so happy to sit down with you, babe.
Thank you. The same.
Okay, so this is how this game is going to work. So you are going to say one reason why marriage is important to you, and then I'm going to say, and we're going to talk about it. Okay?
Very good.
Okay. But then I have to mention this. It was your idea. How did you come about with this idea?
Well, so many people reach out to us over in our lifetime, in our days, and they ask us, what is the secret to a happy marriage? How can you survive through all the the trials of the day?
Just a second, the way you started. So do you think we have a happy marriage?
Yes, I think we have a happy marriage.
Are you happy
Yes.
being married to me?
I'm very
Now,
happy.
I'm not fishing for compliments.
No, I'm very happy being married to you.
Oh, man.
I mean, you do have your days, but I'm happy almost totally.
Nobody's going to watch this. No, if we start for the premises that our marriage is happy, nobody's going to watch this. Nobody. Okay.
Well, we work at it every day.
Okay. So let's see. You start. What's your first reason why marriage matters
Well, I think to be married
to
is
you? Why
to-
marriage
yeah,
matters to you?
For me, it matters that I belong to somebody
Okay.
and that I'm taken care of by somebody. Someone has given themselves to me with the promise that they will take care of me until death do us part. And that's very important to me. That was a promise that you made to me,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a promise that I made to you, that until death do us part.
So, wow. Okay. Now, by the way, I don't know your reasons, and you don't know my reasons why marriage is important to me, and I don't know why marriage is important to you. So you want to belong to somebody. That's wow. We all want to belong, isn't it?
Well,
Men want to belong too.
Some people don't want to belong.
Do you think so?
Some people are independent and they're quite happy in their own skins and they want to be on their own, and they're not looking for anyone to take care of them or for anyone to have a conversation with in the evening, or they're quite happy. But for me, I'm not that type of person. I don't like to be alone. I like to be with someone. I need to be cared for. And I'm very grateful to God that He sent you into my life to take care of me.
So, do you think there are people who are happy to be on their own?
There are, and I just can't understand it. But there are people who are happy. I mean, we spoke to someone this week who told us that she was happy. She doesn't need a man for anything, and she's happy to be on her own. And I can't understand that kind of thinking, but I have to appreciate everyone has their own opinion. But for me, it wouldn't work.
Okay, so you want to belong to somebody.
Yes.
Okay. My first one, I have to say, the first two reasons just was the other night when we talked about it and I put it down on paper. And the first two things just came right. I mean, I had to think for the other ones, man. I don't know what is me.
Am I that bad?
No, no, no. But it's like so many things happen, and I had to really think. And last night I came with some other reasons, but the first thing that came to me was I don't want to grow old on my own.
No.
Companionship is important to me. So we talked about this many times. I wanna go home to somebody. I wanna have somebody to talk to. I want to have a cup of coffee with somebody without being under the pressure to convince her that I am the best choice for her. Without always feeling that I have to prove myself and
Pressure.
to always feeling the pressure of the date.
Yes.
You know,
Dating's nice. Dating's fine.
dating is nice, but do I want my life to be a constant dating scenario?
No, I think we're too old for that.
No, but but it's not even that. Is it like because the pressure is? I want to be comfortable. I want to be me with somebody.
I think the joy of when you find someone that you belong to truly, and you've burned the bridges of knowing that there's no way out of this marriage because you already told me when you married me. Now, just so that you know, divorce is not on the table here. I will never divorce you. The first one of the, well, when I discussed it with you, to ask if you would marry me, the first thing, or one of the first things you said to me, well, just so you know, I will never divorce you.
I remember saying that.
Yes,
Yes.
you said to me that I'll give you 5 years. You can come because our marriage was a little bit different at the beginning. We moved to Romania, and it was very stressful, very hard for me to leave my family and my country. And I came here to live in Romania. And you said to me, the only thing I can tell you, I will never divorce you. I'll give you 5 years. In the first 5 years, if you can't manage to live with me because I'm so terrible, then you can go home to your mom and your girls. But for sure, I will never divorce you.
Yeah, I did say that. No,
So you
yeah,
cut out all
yeah.
my alternatives right away.
Yeah, but did I ask you after 5 years? I said, so what do you think? Are you staying or are you leaving? You remember we had that discussion after 5
I think
years.
you asked me the day after, and I'd forgotten. It was 5 years, and I only had today to make up my mind. And I think I made a mistake. I should have maybe got out then, but no regrets.
But to me, companionship is important. I mean, like, for example, you are not just my wife. Before you are my wife, you are my best friend. So we talk about everything or almost everything as far as I know. And you're my best friend, you're my wife, you're my lover. You know, and to me, you know what? The funny feeling that I experienced after we got married, I just wanted to come home to be with you. I was with my friends going out and having a night out with the boys. But I was looking forward to come home to be with you. I didn't want to stay too long out. I wanted to come back to you because I enjoy spending time with you. Now, funny enough, I find out in my interactions with guys and my friends that feeling wasn't shared by all the guys. Some of the guys didn't want to go home to spend time with their wives. They wanted to stay out as much as they could. So I never understood that. Why did you get married then? I just want to go home to be with my wife. I enjoy time with you guys, but just that's about that, and I'm going home. And there were guys that were saying, like, can we stay sometime longer, you know? And I never understood that, not wanting to go home. Now, I do understand there are issues, there are tensions, there are problems, and life is tough and it's not easy. I do understand that, so I'm not minimizing. But to me, it sounded funny.
Well, sadly, we learn by experience. And because I was married before, and I had experience of not being the person who anybody wanted to come home to, I realized that if I didn't change, then once again, our home would be empty. It would be a house, but not a home. And the thing that I love, one of the most important things to me, is whenever we go away anywhere, the first thing that you do is in a hotel room or in a house or anywhere we stay with friends, you make that room our home. You put on your clock and you get your pictures out and you have all your wallet is lying beside the bed and all your stuff that you need, all the things that are important to you, your computer's lying right next to you so that nobody steals it. And I love, because everywhere we go, is home when I'm with you. And I love that experience.
Okay, shoot. Next one. What's another reason why marriage matters?
Loyalty.
Okay,
Loyalty.
loyalty.
I love the fact, and I'm sure of it, and I hope it's true when I've said it today, that you would never speak about me when I'm not there badly.
Oh man, I hope so too.
I hope so too, and so I'm sure that the boys will let me know if you've said, oh, well, you should hear what he says about you. But the fact that you don't speak about me behind my back, the fact that I can be sure that whatever experience that we're going through, however bad or however deep, and we've gone through some deep waters, that you don't speak about me behind my back badly. You have my back. You don't speak outside of our marriage, the things that we may struggle with.
Yeah.
And then until we're past it, and then we can look back and talk about it and laugh about things together, you don't talk about that.
Yeah, I hope that's
I
true.
hope so.
No, because I'm thinking now, I hope that's true. On one hand, I want us to be free to share what we go through on one hand. Why? Because we might be able to help people that go through the same experiences. So that's that. On the other hand, I hope in us or me talking about the things we go through, I don't put you in a bad light. In which way? Blaming you or trying to escape as a victim. It's not my fault and put all the blame on you, because it takes two to tango. So I'm always like aware of that. So I hope I never I'm sure I made mistakes, and I'm sure probably I said things that I didn't mean or I didn't want to. Things that were unwise. I'm sure I did, because I'm not perfect. I mean, knowing me, I'm sure I did. But I didn't mean them to come out that way, or I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't.
The next thing that I really love about you is the fact that you apologize quickly. Your first reaction is always, when I suggest something, no.
Just a second. Wasn't my turn?
No, it's my. Well, I have to continue on.
Okay, here you go.
No. No, we can't do that. And then, or no, we mustn't do that. And then in 5 minutes, you say, no, that's right. We should do that. And if we do have a tiff, or I do a bit of a sulk, you're always quick to say, what have I done wrong? What's the matter? We don't want to go to bed tonight without being able to talk about stuff. And in my first marriage, I didn't do that. I buried my head. I didn't speak about any problems I had. But you don't allow that. You make me speak. And so we've talked about everything.
But what's happening with that is that whenever I say something stupid, as I say it, I know it's stupid. And for some reason, I can't get myself to stop it.
No,
and you go like, I don't know.
Full on.
You're full on, and it's your death, but you're still going for it.
But then you can always apologize.
But the thing is this, I apologize quick. It's true. And I apologize because I don't want to have that tension, pressure, misunderstanding, burden to hover above us, because it's not nice in our relationship to have that. But what's funny about you is, man, when you sulk, you can sulk, for days. And I never understood that. The first time when we got married, I lost you for a week. So the reason I got to apologize quick was I didn't want to lose you for a week. So I said, did I do something stupid? Listen, I apologize even if it wasn't my fault.
And you always say to me, now, tell me now what I've done wrong. Because if you don't tell me now what I've done wrong,
exactly.
I'm going to do the same tomorrow. So if you don't tell me what I've done wrong, I can't fix it.
Because sometimes I have no clue what I've done wrong.
It's because you're a man.
It's possible. So I'm thinking, what did I just do? I lost you for an hour or two. I can't find you. Emotionally. We lost the connection. So I'm thinking, what did I do? I have no clue. What did I do? Just a second. So I'm just trying. So that's why I'm trying to talk to you, but you wouldn't talk to me. And then, so that's why I'm so insistent, because I don't want this misery to continue, because life is short, I'm thinking, and I don't want to live in this misery, So basically, I'm very selfish. So I'm trying to solve the problem for my sake somehow.
Well, girls, when I'm in conversation with them, or if we're with couples, which we are many times with couples, I hear the retaliation immediate. And that worries me, because although it appears to you, and probably it's true, that I'd sulk, I've learned not to respond immediately. So I try, when you're, as we would say in Scotland, going your dinger, when you're really in full flow, I think I could really help to escalate this.
When I'm committing suicide.
I could answer back, and then I could respond to you, and then you would respond to me, and it would go further. Okay. So what I try to do is I try not to answer. Now I hear some of our young friends, and she just gives him it, and then he gives him it, and it just goes on, and then they've really got a lot of things to apologize.
So they make it worse instead of improving the situation.
So I've learned to shut my mouth, and if I can, walk away, and then it's easier for me to come back, because I don't have things to apologize, because the things we say when we're angry can never be reversed, because they're said in anger, often not true things, but they're said in anger, and they can really do a lot of damage to the person who hears them. And sometimes people never get over it. And the thing that I also learned, and I know it's not my turn, I'm sorry for speaking so much, but you opened the door and let me go. I learned about the final words. Okay. With James, my first husband. He was a lovely man. And my final words to him were unkind words. And I never forgot the unkind words that I said to him. I never knew in a million years it would be my final words. Because he was just going to church, and I was getting ready for church, and we were at a conference, and there was plenty of life about. And when he said he was going, he'd said he wasn't going, and he is going, and now I was angry because he changed his mind. And my words were angry words. Why don't you just make up your mind? And I just hope that never I'm caught out again with my final words being angry words. And so it was a bitter lesson for me that taught me to watch my final words, because we never know when final words will be our final words. We never know that. We don't expect final words to come early. We don't expect them to come when everybody's healthy and well. But final words come unexpectedly. And so I try to make my final words kind words, so that if perchance... So
that's why you don't respond immediately.
I don't respond, because anything can go any kind of ways.
I see that you talk quite a bit about these final words with James that you had. So this must be troubling you quite a bit, because I heard you talking quite a bit in the last while, So this must be like, is it a burden for you? Is it hovering in your mind because it's there, it's present.
Always a burden.
It's always...
Because...
You're struggling a bit with it?
Well, you can't forgive yourself.
Okay.
Because there's no way back.
Okay.
I can't say to him now, or to anybody that I'm sorry now. It's too late. So I have to judge before I speak. And when you're young, you don't care. You don't think about these things. You think, well, I've got forever.
True.
And, what are words? But, words are very important. And so are tissues. And somebody moved the tissues from the table. I should have known. I should have known that I should have known I would need tissues if you speak to me. I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
But final words are very important, because we don't know. We don't know the words. The words that will.
Just leave it here on the table. She will need some more.
I'll probably need
guess.
more.
But this is very beneficial for me, because I didn't know why you don't respond immediately. I thought you were punishing me.
No.
You're punishing me for whatever stupid thing I did previously.
I'm trying to save you.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting.
But you don't know that until you've had experience. And I want to tell all the young girls that are watching this broadcast, or girls that I come in contact with, watch your mouth. Be careful what you say, because you never know.
So I see you're on a mission.
I'm on a mission.
Okay. My turn.
Yes, your turn.
So my second reason why marriage is important to me was that marriage for me was a cure for selfishness. I was a very selfish person before I was married. All I had to do is take care of myself, think of myself. And it was very hard for me to think and to care for somebody else. And it took me on this journey of growth, so to speak, to renounce at myself, to die to myself, and to make room for another person in my life, to make room for another person in my kitchen, in my bedroom, in my living room, to live 24/7 with somebody, to share the space with somebody. And that was very hard for me. But I hope now I am less selfish. After 16 years of marriage, we celebrate 16 years this summer, I hope I'm less selfish. So that was, single people are very selfish. I mean, as a single person, I was very selfish. Just took care of myself, took care of my needs. I did everything I wanted to do to please myself. And now, suddenly, I have to please somebody else. So that's why I think marriage is also important. It's a cure for selfishness.
Well, it's very good when you have to share things. I mean, when children are small, that's why they always suggest that if you have one child, to have two children, because then they learn to share, because that's when you learn to share and you learn to negotiate. And then school, if children had everything they wanted from the first time, then they would grow up selfish, but they have to learn to share. So you learn with your toys, and then you learn in school, you learn to share things. And this is why school's important, because we learn to share and negotiate. That's why older sisters and older brothers are usually better negotiators, because they've had to go through negotiating within the family circle. And that's very important, because the smallest one, you always hear the smallest one's the most spoiled, because by the time they've gone through 2 and 3 and 4, and in your mum's case 6, that they're not caring about negotiating. They're just wanting to win.
So what you tell me is it's good to be forced into an environment that will help you grow, because basically what parents do when they choose to have a second child, they force the first child into an environment.
Yes.
For the child to grow.
Yes.
So that's what marriage is for you and me.
It's life.
It's being forced into an environment. No, we agreed.
No.
It's a contract.
I asked you, and you agreed.
You did ask me to marry you.
I don't know if it was a leap year. You remember?
I can't remember now.
If it was a leap year, and
let me finish my thought.
Okay.
So marriage is an environment that is conducive to growth, however you put it. However you put it. And that's what I appreciate, and that's why I think it's important for men and women. Otherwise, we don't grow.
No.
If I live on my own, if I please myself all the time, I don't grow, and I need to grow. I know growth is painful. I know growth, it's somewhat undesirable because of the pain it produces. But then with the pain comes the growth and the great results. You become a better person, all-rounded person. It's amazing, yeah.
And the sad thing is that the people who really stand against it most are the people who probably need it most.
Yeah.
But they're unwilling to make that change. They're unwilling to give of themselves. And that's okay, because you can't, that's people. Some people choose their lives. Some people choose not to have children. Some people choose to have children. And some people can't have children. And then that's all different kinds of varieties of disappointment there. Or joy, depending if that's what you want to do. But marriage is definitely a growing experience. And for you, it is definitely, and for me, is an incredibly growing experience and an important experience.
Okay, in which way, just give me one example at least, in which way did our marriage help you grow?
Well, I learned to be more patient.
I gave
you
you
me an opportunity.
Many opportunities.
To become more patient.
I know.
Because then, that's an important gift, to be patient.
I'm so glad you have patience
I
because God knows I don't have much of it.
no, I learned to submit, because I wasn't very submissive in the rest of my life. I'm the oldest of the 4 children, my mum and dad. I was the boss, and I've pretty well almost been the boss, always been the boss of all of my life. And then I married you. I married into a different environment and then into a different culture. And it's a very different culture from the culture that I'd grown up in, although I guess some people would see it as a negative. For me, it was a positive because I learned to submit. I learned to do.
Can I ask you here, if you don't mind, please? Maybe it's not a good question, and if you don't want to answer it, that's fine. Don't answer it. But so you had 2 marriages. You were married to your former husband, before to James, and now to me. I don't know what you mean by submissiveness when you say I'm more submissive now. Were you not
Submissive before?
submissive before as a wife to James? Are you more submissive to me? And what do you mean by submissiveness? Because that could be so misinterpreted.
Well, I was young, much younger then.
Mm-hmm.
I had my own money, my own cars, my own bank accounts.
So you were independent.
I was quite independent.
Okay.
Our life. James was a builder, a very good provider, a very good husband and father. But we were almost even. We were almost as equals. Then we had children together, which makes a difference. Submissive is in regard to a wife. I think I was married for 35 years, and over time you do learn to be submissive. But I wasn't. In my heart, I wasn't as submissive as I feel I am now. I don't know, because I'm softer, I'm older, and life has changed me. Sadness, grief, joy.
But by submissiveness, do you mean you listen to your husband? I'm doing what he says. That's what you mean by submissiveness, or what do you mean by that? Because it's just I want to clarify that a little bit. Because in our relationship, I don't want to be a dictator, and for you to be the person who does everything I say. So this is my point of view. I'm sorry. Just a second, I'm getting excited. So the way I think so tell me if I'm wrong, or if you have a different view on it. So we talk, we discuss about everything. So somehow together we come to a conclusion. So there is a lot of discussion, conversation, and I see it as a partnership. I don't see me coming from above to you, trying to tell you what to do, but then you ask me what are we doing now or next or whatever in certain situations or whatever. So I'm trying to clarify this because within the context that we are living today, a lot of girls won't get married because, well, they don't want to have an idiot husband telling them what to do.
It's true.
So I see our relationship more of a partnership rather than. Yes, I see myself as a leader, and I'm responsible for the context of our environment and our marriage, our family, but I don't see me as a tyrant. I don't see me as an authoritarian leader. I see me, yes, there are some situations I have to make decisions and the buck stops with me. Yes, I know. But mostly we are partners. We talk and we deliberate and we come to a conclusion which doesn't benefit just me, doesn't benefit just you, benefits our relationship. So it's not a selfish fight and struggle where I have to get my way or you have to get your way. The decision, the outcome of our deliberation would be the best for our relationship.
But I think
that's how I see it. Am I wrong, or how?
No, that's all correct. The thing is, when you're younger,
okay,
you have this need to prove yourself, because you're still on the way up and you're trying to prove, you're trying to find yourself. You know, you've done your school, you've done your university, you're doing your apprenticeship, then you've got your qualifications, and then you have to live to prove yourself. The joys and the drawbacks of being older, I don't have anything to prove now. I just have to live. And all of our lives, the life that you and I have chosen, is a life to bless other people or to work with other people, to be an encouragement to other people, and to use our experience to help other people. And the experiences that I've got now with James and we had a happy marriage for 35 years, but we didn't discuss things. We didn't discuss things because in those days, it's a different generation. We didn't discuss things, and we did things. We just did as we needed to do, according to how we felt at the time. I was very much married, very much a wife and mother. Although even then, I didn't do much of the cooking because my girls did most of that. But it's when you're older, it's a different. You look at things with a different perspective.
Well, you know what? I'm very happy I got you in the best season of your life.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm probably better than I was.
Okay,
then.
it's your turn now. What's your next?
One of the very important things to me is authenticity.
Okay.
I've lived with you now for 16 years. We've been married, and I can honestly say that you are exactly the same in the house as you are on the platform.
This is a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing because you're authentic. And that's important to me. You're not one thing in the house and you're not one thing on the platform. What I enjoy is the fact that, and that comes with good and bad as well, but the good thing for me is the fact that what you are is what you are. And that's important in these days of so much falseness. You know, I'll sometimes say, we could maybe do a shortcut. No, there's no shortcuts with you. We have to do it the right way, the God way. I don't mean that I would do ungodly things, that God forbid, but you would make sure that everything is done really correct according to the scripture. You're well read. You know a lot about the Bible and about God. You've spent a long time over your life. You've been through 2 Bible schools, done training in both places, been a Bible school teacher. And I appreciate that because I realize that you have more knowledge than me in the Word of God. And I want to admit that I have to honor that, and your honesty and your authenticity. You don't have two faces. Our motto is for a mask without a mask, and it's not often a wife can say that, and that's very important for a wife and if a family have children, that the husband isn't one thing at home, or the wife isn't one thing at home and isn't another thing in church. It's very important, authenticity, because the children, I heard you say it just this week, the children don't do as we say, they do as we do. And I've had some failings in my past life with these things. I've failed in many levels. I've failed. And this time round, I'm trying to make sure that I make it better.
Authenticity, yeah, it's very hard for me. Well, I couldn't be 2 things because it's very hard to keep track of things. It's just how many times
Honesty
you lie.
always pays.
Honesty and truth, even if it's hard, is the best way forward. I mean, and yeah, anyway, as you were talking about it, and I appreciate, I'm thinking nobody's going to watch this. This is too far-fetched, man. This is too good to be true. But joking aside, but I can't be any other way because shortcuts don't pay off. So you gotta do the right thing. The right thing, even if it's hard, it will always pay off. Telling the truth, even if it's hard, and if it's for just now, will have some bad consequences. In the long run, will have the best consequences. You will be experiencing the journey of your life if you tell the truth. I mean, that's even if you suffer for a time, because the truth and speaking the truth has consequences and has a price. And sometimes it's unpopular, and sometimes people don't want to hear the truth and whatever, you know. But in the long run, is the best choice. In the long run, is the best choice.
I'm scared.
No, well. Listen, my third reason why marriage matters to me, it settled me emotionally. I was single a very long time. I was 38 when we got married. And emotionally, I was all over the place. I mean, I had to think a long time about this. It just didn't come to me. And I remember talking about this quite a bit. And I don't know why it kind of, uh, 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 it was so evasive. I couldn't
Escaped.
escape me, you know? So I settled emotionally. I'm not looking for things. I'm not looking for other women. I'm not looking for other experiences, whether they would be emotional, sexual, or of any other nature. I'm settled. I have my woman. I have my friend. I have uh, uh, um, I have a balanced life. I was looking for balance for a long time. I was looking to settle for a long time, and I didn't know marriage could give me this.
The very thing you ran from.
The very thing I was running from, because marriage for me wasn't something desirable at all. I mean, at the time I grew up, looking around, there were not many great marriages or great examples, or I was in the wrong place. I'm not sure. I'm sure there were great marriages, but around me, my mom and dad didn't have a great marriage, and I didn't grow up saying, you know what, I just looking forward to that day when I'm gonna get married. It wasn't my experience. So then I ran away from it. But the very thing, as you say, I was running away from gave me emotional stability, um, and
Keeps you down.
keeps me grounded. And you know what gave me emotional security? That's amazing because I feel so before you are my wife and my lover, you are my friend, and I feel secure talking to you, and I feel just in the same manner like you, sharing my emotions with you, my feelings and my thoughts, uh, not wondering whether you will betray me or will be talking about me, with some of your girlfriends or whatever. So I don't worry about that. I share with you my most deepest thoughts and emotions and feelings, and that to me it's an amazing thing to have an experience like this, to have someone to do that with. And you know what, I never thought it possible. And one of the things that I appreciate, and I have to say this, the reason I married you is because you loved me. I know it is a selfish reason. And I'm a selfish guy, I have to admit this. And everybody who knows me well knows I'm selfish. But I just wanted somebody to love me the way I was. I always wanted somebody to love me. And then I never thought it possible. I never thought. Now again, I'm not saying our relationship is perfect and we are not having, I don't know, storms and troubles and discussions and fights. No, we do have that, because the way we talk, it sounds like it's too good to be true. No, we do have fights, we do struggle, many times we do argue. But I'm looking now for reasons why marriage is important to me, and I'm holding on to those things. And I never thought that to be possible, to have somebody to really enjoy that much and to talk to and to share those emotions and feelings without the being scared of being betrayed.
Well, I think there's one or two things that come to me when you're talking just now. One of the most important things about marriage is having respect.
Okay.
And respect it doesn't arrive in a package. You have to earn respect. And often people, men and women, will do more for people outside of their marriage than they do for their own husbands or their own wives. And that's important. If you want to gain respect, then you have to make sure that at home you do as much, if not more, for the people that you live with. The other thing that I've learned, sadly, people are continually looking for happiness, to be happy. To be happy, if do what you want, if you're happy, if it makes you happy, do it. Whatever it costs anybody else around you, do what you want if it makes you happy. But happiness is elusive. It's not even a true feeling because, if somebody gives me £100 a day, I'm happy. If I lose it tomorrow, I'm unhappy. Happiness is elusive. It's not really something real. I've discovered the most important thing, and I still haven't found it totally, is contentment. And when we're contented, that's what makes us feel better. When enough is enough. When you discover that, okay, we need more money. Oh, everybody always needs more money. You know, we need a better car. Well, my little froggy, I certainly need a better car. But we always need something more. There's always a reason, but there still can be contentment. And often young wives and young husbands, they hear from other young wives and young husbands, oh, you know, this is how what we do, and we, you know, they've got better holidays. But if there's not a contentment there, it won't help, because if we're discontented, nothing is good. Mm-hmm. Nothing is good if we're discontented.
But you know what I found out regarding contentment? I decide when it's enough, it's enough. It doesn't come from the outside.
No.
You and I decide as a couple what's enough. Because otherwise, you are always on this, you're going down this rabbit hole of achieving or amassing, accumulating things.
Yes.
And it will never be enough. It will never be enough. So you have to stop and say, okay, I'm happy here. Now that shouldn't stop you. It shouldn't stop your progress. It shouldn't stop you moving forward. But you need to say, you know what, if nothing happens from now on in terms of I'm happy here.
And you have to know as well, the most important thing, I think, is a common goal. Where are we going? Where are we headed? Because actually, if we don't have a common goal in life, and this is why it speaks in the Bible about not being unequally yoked together with an unbeliever. And I don't really believe in partnerships. I'm not speaking about marriage partnerships, but I don't really believe in partnerships, because partnerships seldom work. If it's not with your husband or your wife, or especially with somebody very close to you, partnerships don't really work, because there's different cultures. I come from a different culture in my family to your culture. Other families have different cultures. So my belief system, even if I've got a good belief system.
What do you mean partnerships?
Well, any
don't
kind
work?
of. I'm not talking about marriage partnerships here.
You're talking about marriage as a contract, but you're talking about people deciding to live together.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about even in business partnerships. We have to be careful who we partnership, because if we're not going in the same direction, it's in marriage as well. But if we're not going in the same direction, because you know some people,
the common goal has
regardless to be,
of the partnership
it has
you have,
to be,
whether marriage, business, or whatever.
And the main thing that attracted me to you, apart from the fact that I loved you to death, the main thing was that we had a common goal. I wanted to serve God, and I knew that you wanted to serve God. Okay. And two are better and stronger than one, and we're stronger together. And I saw, maybe I'm not sure if you saw, a future together that we could do something for the kingdom, because that's the only thing that's going to last. The kingdom of God is the only thing that's for last. All the other things are fantastic on our way there. But even more so now, I'm realizing day by day that we are on a journey, and the journey is almost complete. And only what we do now for God is important. You know, we can build, and we are building, and I'm all for goals and dreams, natural things. But actually, we're on a journey, and the journey is heaven. The goal is heaven.
Just for people to understand, is when you talk about doing things for God, you're talking about doing things that have eternal value.
Yes.
So we can build temporary things, which is house, cars, business, or whatever, but they don't last forever. So
and I'm not against that.
No, not against that. But we are talking about another level of building and doing things, which is things that have eternal value, which things that will transcend us.
Yes, things that will outlast us.
Exactly. And that gives me, if you ask about fulfillment and significance in life and life purpose, you know, that will give me purpose and a reason to live for, things that will outlast me, eternal value.
Well, things. I believe that if we have a goal, that God works everything together. You know, it's the first time I came to Romania was in 1990. I came as Mrs. Smith, and I came here to the churches here and to all the places that we sent aid to, humanitarian aid to. We sent over trucks, and I came over with a team, and we went to all the projects that we had. We were working with many orphanages and hospitals and children's homes, every kind of, anybody that had a need, we were bringing stuff over here. Now that's very satisfying when you're helping other people. But I didn't realize in God's scheme, that I would ever be here married and living in the very place where God sent me as a missionary. I never thought.
Wow.
I couldn't have bought it, paid it, thought it, dreamed it. And then, but all the time, God was preparing for me because, I came to a strange country when we were married 16 years ago, but it wasn't a completely strange country because I'd been here since 1990. I knew a lot of people in this area. I'd brought aid from the organisation that we worked with in Peterhead, and I'd brought aid here with many other people. We brought aid here, and so God was already making a place for me in the very place.
And that's amazing because the people you blessed and the country you blessed became a blessing for you.
Are now the blessing to me. And I used to say, people would say, why don't you just go and live in Romania? And I would say, well, I can't go and live in Romania because then you'll have to send me parcels. And I never realized that I would actually live here and that people would send me parcels because you can't get Cadbury's eggs in Romania.
That's hardly a hardship, isn't it?
It is a hardship.
You can get only Swiss chocolate, not Cadbury chocolate.
But what I mean is, and all the time, God is working things out for your good.
Yeah. No, I see your point.
And
it's unbelievable.
when you put other people first, God has already got the plan in place. We're looking for today. We're looking for an answer today.
So this is something working at something with eternal value.
With eternal value.
This was your turn, and now it's my turn, or
I
how?
think it's your turn.
Is it because we're just
so
flowing?
Mix and match.
Well, this is another reason why marriage matters to me. And you already mentioned it. It's unbelievable because I didn't read your list. You didn't read my list. So this is just...
I didn't actually write a list.
You didn't?
No.
I can't believe you. I prepared for today.
Well, I did prepare, but I did the wrong questions. I was thinking about the things that you would be looking for, not the things that I was looking for.
That's okay. I'm here to lead.
The next time.
Okay. I told you, and you already mentioned it, but it's beautiful because it's not what you write. The stuff that you will say will come out of you because it's already in you. And that's the beauty of discussions, of conversations. The best way to find your way forward and to understand things is having conversation. And that's my belief. But you already mentioned it, so I told you not so long ago that I will never leave you. And you mentioned this. In good times and bad times, I will be there for you. I can't remember what happened. I can't remember what was the situations that happened. And I say, babe, don't worry, I'll never leave you.
It's every time.
Yeah, but something happened and we had this discussion. Somebody died, somebody sick.
It was before Wendy.
No. Somebody was sick recently. Somebody was sick. And...
Oh, it's one of my friends. One of my friends was sick and taken into care.
Exactly, taken into care and something like that. Did the family put them into care or forsook them? Or didn't
taken into care.
Anyway, something happened of that sort. And I said, darling, I'll never leave you. I'll take care of you till the end. But I wanted you to know this. And not just you to know this, but making this public makes me responsible and binds me to my words. Some people say that's a stupid thing because you shouldn't say something you are not able to do. But no. I believe God will give me the strength to do it. I know it's not going to be easy.
But I think the first time you said that to me was 16 years ago
when
you married me.
Yes, true. But then now I mean it more.
It's a good thing if it's growing.
Now I mean it more. Some people call this life security. And I want you to know and to find security in knowing this, that I will never leave you. And I make myself responsible for saying this because I want to do this regardless of how it's going to be. I will take care of you, and I hope you will return the favor, which I'm a little bit...
Not so sure.
No, huh?
I'm not a good enough.
Shoot.
But you did say to me, you said to me many years ago, when we got married, you said to me, I promise you this, that anything with my blood in it, I will take care of till I can do it no more. I will take care of my mother and your mother. You promised that. You said I will take care of them until I cannot do it any longer till I have no strength left. And that's a very secure feeling for a woman. Now, many men would do that, but not so many men would actually say that out loud and mean it. And to me, that was one of my values. So it's not my mother. My mother always used to say, before you choose a husband, look how he treats his mother. And if he treats his mother well,
That's very telling.
there's a good chance that he's going to take care of his wife well. If he's offhand with his mother and she doesn't matter much in his life, he's only looking for his wife. And then when a man looks after his mother, then quite often there's a good chance that he'll have a good, caring relationship for his wife. And that was just another one of my values. And I found you.
Wow, that's something to look out for before anybody gets married. See how the man, for ladies, for girls, see how the man takes care of his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was me. What's your next
My
important
next one.
value?
Well, we've covered a lot of stuff today.
Or you and me? I have one more.
Well, I think I maybe have one more too, but you go first.
I go first. Do you want to finish?
I think one of the values for me was the fact that you took care of your mum. That was one of the things I was.
Okay. Well, this is my last one, and probably was the first actually in the order of why I got married. Yeah, intimacy.
Mm. I thought we'd escaped it.
No. Marriage. In a marriage context, we can be intimate with each other whenever we want, without wondering whether we've done the right thing or not. That's very important to me. To have the sex without feeling guilty. To have somebody you can decide to be intimate with without wondering, is a stupid thing or is the right thing? Is she the right person? Whenever I'm intimate to you, whenever I'm intimate with you, I'm not wondering what is the right thing. You are my wife. It is the right thing. And this is something is changing in nowadays, because we look for immediate gratification as long as we feel great and satisfy my own needs, and I don't hurt anybody, who stops me doing whatever I want, And to a certain extent, when you are younger, you kind of believe that because it gives you the freedom, that kind of a narrative gives you the freedom to do whatever you want, basically, with whomever you want, whenever you want. So that's a pass to do whatever. Mm-hmm. But the consequences of that are great. You cannot escape your conscience. You cannot escape that God-given compass. It's in your DNA. He says, Moses, I think, writes it, or I can't remember. In the Old Testament, you find it. I wrote my law in their hearts, in their minds. They know what they need to do without me even telling them what they need to do. I found out that from Adam and Eve to Moses, there were about 2,000 years. And Moses put into words the Ten Commandments. You are having almost 2,000 years of people doing the right thing without having anything written down. Only what they received from their mom and dad down the generations, they received the story of creation and all that, Mm-hmm. So you received the narrative verbally down from generation to generation, but you knew it was written in your code, in your DNA, in your conscience, what was right and what was wrong. So whether you have God in your life or you don't, whether you're a Christian or you're not, whether you believe or you don't, it doesn't matter. You might want to do whatever you want, but there is something in you that will always stop you. It will tell you it's wrong. Some people say, "Oh, it's fine." But the tension remains. It's an internal tension. It's the struggle at the level of the mind, the
Conscience.
emotions, the conscience. You will always have to battle that. And to me, in relation to intimacy, to sexual needs, to this marriage is the best construct, is the best environment where I can have intimacy with my wife, and my wife have intimacy with me whenever we want, without wondering. I think that's the most beautiful thing, when you wake up in the morning and you loved each other and you feel great.
Well, it's a
There is
committed-
not a shadow
it's
hanging
committed-
over
a
you.
committed relationship.
Committed relationship.
Women really struggle and deserve and thrive for and with a committed relationship.
It's true, but I don't understand women that say, I don't need a man to make me happy. And I don't talk about happiness, because happiness we establish, it's elusive.
Sometimes it's true.
It's a feeling that comes and
But
goes.
sometimes they're trying to hide their real need. You know, some people, I hear them saying, no, I don't believe in marriage. No. But actually, they really long to be married. But the only way they can hide their disappointment of not being married, or the fact that it isn't happening or it hasn't happened yet, is by denying it. Now, some people really don't want to be married, and that's okay. But some people are longing for. But they're. Another thing is, you can't wait till everything's perfect.
No.
It's always a chance. You always have to take a chance. You're never going to know the person you marry when you marry them. You're never going to be totally 100% sure that this is going to work out. But you have to just go in committed. You said to me, I'll never divorce you. So I thought to myself, well, I'm in here hook, line and sinker. But most people, often nowadays, they go in with the thought, well, you know, if this doesn't work out, then I'll just... but once you're divorced, it's easier for a second divorce and a third divorce, because you've done it once. But it's a very hurtful thing. It hurts families all across the board. Very difficult.
Well, this was my last one.
Mm-hmm. Good.
It's time to come to a close for this time.
Mm-hmm.
Darling, thank you very much for making time to talk to me. I appreciate you and I appreciate this. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please let us know in the comments below of this podcast. And if you want us to talk about other issues and about other stuff, please let us know as well. If you enjoy the content, like it, share it, and why not subscribe to our channel. And until the next time, have a great time wherever you are. Bye-bye from us.